Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about my first Castle Panic. This is designed by Justin DeWitt, and it is published by Fireside Games.
If you may have heard of a game called Castle Panic, a famous tower defense game where you've got all these monsters coming in at your tower trying to destroy it. This is my first Castle Panic, designed specifically for kids to give them that similar tower defense style game in a much clearer, faster, streamlined situation. You know what? I'm going to teach you guys how to play the game. But then we have got an expert, a bona fide, professor of kids games.
Yes, a professor of kids games?
Yeah, we're talking about an expert, someone who knows the field, has seen all there is to see, has done it all.
Just knows kids games in and out.
Way better than an adult ever could.
Definitely. Because of the target audience, it's our kid.
It's our daughter. We're talking about our daughter.
Yeah.
We've got a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. Our 5-year-old in particular glommed onto this game. We're going to hear from her and hear what her thoughts are. First, let me show you how to play. All right, here's our setup for my first Castle Panic. We've got our board out there, and we've already got 3 monsters out on the board on their path, on their way to get to our castle. All right, as you can see, each one of these spots has both a shape and a color on it. And it's going to refer to a lot of our cards that we're going to be able to attack with. We've got a whole bunch more monsters here. Most monsters are just going to progress once when they come out. However, there are some special monsters. So for instance, we have the runner here. That's basically going to come out to the very, very front of the line. We've got the shover here. The shover basically says everybody, including the shover itself, is going to advance 1 extra spot. And then we've got this mega guy here. He's going to do the same thing the shover does, plus add an extra monster out onto the board. So these guys are bad news. So what we have to do, our job, is to defend this castle here. We've got our castle itself, plus we have kind of a gate in front guarding it. So how are we going to defend our castle? Well, we've got these cards over here. Every player is going to start with 1 card, and they're going to keep it out in front of them. Now the cards can do a lot of things. The main thing is we're going to try to match up these shapes and colors with wherever these monsters are. Now we've got our red circle, it's all the way up here. So that card's not super helpful to us right now. However, what we can do is we can also ask for help from friends. So this is a full cooperative game. We're going to have everyone's cards face up in front of them. So right now, what we really need is we need either this blue square, this green circle, or this red triangle. So we're going to ask our friends for help. So you're going to come across a lot of cards that are just, that one single spot on the board, like that. But then also you're going to come across spots on the board that are all of one color or all of one shape. And this is kind of like a wild card that can be used on 3 different spots on the board. Those are really nice. We've also got a card that allows us to repair our wall. So if a monster ever reaches this gate here, this is going to collapse and fall down. But if someone plays this card, it rebuilds it. We're going to put it back down there. Once again, kind of helping to defend our castle. And the coolest card of all, this boot here, this boot allows us to boot one of the monsters from anywhere on the board back into the monster pile so that we can attack them all over again. What you're going to do is you're going to draw a card from the deck. You already should have a card in front of you, so let's do this. So we have 2. Then we can spend 1 of them or ask for help. Let's use the green circle here in order to knock this guy back. Then what we're going to do is every single monster is going to advance 1 spot, and then a new monster is going to come out. Whoops. In this case, we've got that shover guy. He's going to make everybody advance 1, including himself. And that's really all there is to the game. Basically, we're going to lose if any of the monsters ever get into our castle, or we're going to win if every single monster on the board, as well as the monster pile, is defeated. We win the game that way. There are some variations that can make the game either easier or harder. For instance, there's a hand boost. One lets you start the game with 2 cards instead of 1, so you have more variety to choose from. Or if you want to make it harder, you can do a defenseless game where you're not using the wall. Or where you have the monster rush, where you have a 4th person out on the board to start the game off with. So there's ways that you can modify it to your skill set as your kids get older, or maybe you decide you want to back down the difficulty level a little bit. But this is a full cooperative game. We're all going to either win or lose together.
And now for the brilliant thoughts of a kids gaming expert.
Hi, let's talk about my first Castle Panic. How you win is you have to kill all of the goblins. These green things are the goblins. They're stacks. And if you get all of these in the box, in the dungeon, you win. And if these things get past the get past this and get past the castle, you lose. And it's really fun, really, really fun. And you're gonna really, and I think kids my age are going to like this. And can I say how old I am? Can I?
What?
Can I say how old I am?
Yeah.
And I am 5. I think other kids my age are going to like this game. Goodbye. Bye. Bye. Meow. Meow, meow, meow.
So when we were talking about the games that we needed to be talking about, our expert, which you just saw, said, and I'm not even kidding, right? So we're setting up with these games. We're going to talk about this one. So we're talking about how we're going to be talking about My First Castle Panic. And she goes, can I talk about it? Can I review it? Can I do it?
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, it was just, she was so excited about it. Like she wanted to be involved in this game. She really enjoyed it and actually did she wanted to do this. We didn't make her or anything.
Yeah, Castle Panic is a lot of fun. My First Castle Panic was just a great port over of the original. It still has the exact same emotional feelings. You still have all these monsters kind of marching towards you, literally marching towards you. The peril is increasing, and the more and more you go. Whenever you draw one of those special monsters that does something strange, like goes right to the front of the line or makes everybody march forward, everyone's just like, oh no, oh boy, do we have the card for this? We've had a plan, and now the plan's all messed up. What are we gonna do? How do we react to it? It's just a really, really fun peril, the sense of this, what are we going to do? But you can't, it's unavoidable, it's happening. How are you going to plan for it? It makes it a lot of fun.
So the box says say 4+, is that right? Yeah. I think the icons are really big, right? It's basically, you don't need any text. It's just all icon driven, so kids can do that. An adult might need to refer to the rule books to see what those special guys do, but you could probably have that memorized within the first couple of games. I think that you could potentially play this with a 3-year-old. Like, you can maybe even go younger if they can sit, if they can sit for that long. I just think it is great for the age that they're going for. It is wonderful. There's a lot of kids games that are like 6+ that are really for 6+, but that younger range at 3, 4, 5, there's not necessarily a ton of stuff that's like for them. But I thought that this did a great job with the cute artwork and then just the huge icons.
Primary colors and primary shapes.
Exactly. So I thought it did a great job of reaching that target audience.
Yeah, this is something that both of our daughters asked for, especially our younger one, as you saw. It's just a great stair-stepping from, to learn kind of that tower defense style game, that cooperation. Sometimes it's hard, you've got a really great card that you're really excited to use on your turn, one of those ones that has a whole bunch of symbols on it or whatever. But then, it's really best if somebody else uses that card out of you, and you have to share your card with them. And so that, what's best for the team as opposed to what's best for you individually, and having to kind of put that aside. It made for a great, family experience, having to, getting the chance to share. And, guess what? Later on, you're going to get a chance to share their stuff too, and we're all going to be involved. It made it so that you had lots of things to look at, lots of options, but still you're working together trying to take this down.
Well, if any of this looks interesting, make sure to check this game out when you get a chance. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the videos as they come out, and you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
There's a really creepy guy that actually has a triangle knee and no knee on their leg, so watch out for that one.